Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. My name is Mitch Tinley. This is the Australian MMA podcast. You're going to find out a little bit about Australian MMA if you don't know anything. If you do, we're going to ask those in-depth questions that you want to know. Fun show today as we have two guests. The ever so hugely hyped Mayocchi brothers, Brodie and Kyle. They fought at Beatdown Promotion 7 on the weekend. Both got first round finishes. And they're both very similar and yet so very different. They are the new era of MMA where they've already hit the ground running at 19 and 20. Both boys from Innisfail in Queensland, which I think is a town of like 8,000 people. It's a little, whoa, yeehaw, little cowboy. And they talk about growing up there, how they got into fighting, why they got into fighting, what it's like being brothers in mixed martial arts. There's even a sort of situation where Brodie, the younger brother, got a scholarship at City Kickboxing, which is renowned for, Israel Adesanya, former UFC world champion, Dan Hooker. He got a scholarship there. Kyle also went for that, didn't get it. So we talk about that, what it's like to see your brother get something that you want and you get something your brother wanted and all that sort of stuff. It's a good chat. They interact well with each other. They're both very, very different boys, but also I think in their own right, they're all going to be stars. I think Brodie's got it all. Talks a little bit more cheeky, as he puts it. But like Kyle is an absolute stud and has fought killers right from the get-go. They both have been highly touted for a very, very, very long time. So, without further ado, we've got both of them on. I introduce them and hopefully I do a decent job of you knowing who's who and who's talking. But if you need a clearer view, Australian MMA on YouTube, or hit up right now and on Spotify, or hit up australianmma.com.au if you want to find out more. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is Brodie and Kyle Mayocchi. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Two superstars in the making, Brodie and Kyle Mayocchi. Boys, welcome.
Hey, cheers. How's it going?
Now, Kyle, it took you longer to get on the interview than it did to get through your fight on the weekend, but that's...
Yeah.
Both you boys, I was talking to your brother Brodie off my. I'll start with you, Kyle. How much do you boys hate doing media?
It's not too bad. It's not the funnest thing, but nah, it's all good.
Brodie, what's your thoughts when someone sticks a mic in front of your face?
Oh fuck. Just like Kyle said the other night, just fucking puts you on the spot. Just I don't know. It depends. It depends, like, what sort of questions they're asking and shit. If it's easy stuff, then I don't really care. It's just saying go. But when they're fucking digging at it and you don't know what to say, that's when you get the woo, woo.
Now, you boys are like as ochre as it comes, as Australian as it gets. Believe it or not, I thought you guys were actually Kiwi when I first heard of you, because you're so desperate to get out of the country and train somewhere else. First off, Brodie, why are you leaving Australia to go train?
It's just the opportunity to be able to train full time, really. Yeah, like the opportunity to be able to not have to work and just train all day, every day is pretty sweet, especially at a gym like CKB. So,
Kyle, you're not following him, are you? You're staying in Queensland?
Yeah, I'm living here still, but I've been over there. I was there for 10 weeks before these last two fights doing fight camp. So I'm pretty much just back and forth at the moment.
And how old are you both now?
I'm 20. And I'm 19.
It's fucked. So what started out with, I guess I'll start with you, Brodie, answering this question. But when did you boys first get into martial arts? Did Kyle drag you into it? Did your dad? How did it all start?
It started when me and Kyle were like 7 and 8, and Dad started training, and we just sort of started going to the gym with him, and then we'd hit the bag while he was training and that, fucking around, and then soon enough, yeah, we were just training and that. And at the start, we were just like doing it, fucking around and that. And then after just a few weeks of training, he said to us, "Oh, you want to have an MMA fight?" Like, Mum had a work thing down in Brisbane in the same weekend as there was like the junior MMA league back in the day. And then, yeah, we went down for 4 weeks of training and we both fought. And then after that, we just kept going.
are you have you always been into MMA, or because you seem like, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, guys. Kyle, you seem like a slightly, a little bit more subdued, like you're a little bit more laid back. Where Brodie's got a little bit of that yeehaw, whoa. Where
Yeah,
you're a little bit more step. Is that how it's always been?
yeah. Like, yeah, I'm probably a bit more quiet in that than Brodie. Yeah, he's pretty loud, that lad. But yeah, I tend to just chill out more and go with the flow.
Let's go prior to like both you boys learning MMA skills. Who won the fights in the house?
Me, definitely.
Nah,
definitely not. Back at them days, we were the same size, so it was a pretty even matchup. But I reckon I used to get the better of him, eh? Quick kick to the nuts always work.
It's like a press conference. I love it.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to mixed martial arts, I'll start with you, Kyle. Is watching your brother fight, like, how is it as close as it gets to you fighting? Like, how kind of intimidating is it watching your brother go out there and obviously not just maybe get hurt or not get hurt, but like you're both chasing dreams. What is it like to watch your brother fight?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a different feeling, eh? Like, I'm always just really excited for him whenever he's going out to a fight. Really, like, yeah, I love watching him go out there and just smash guys. I'm never really too worried about him losing. Like, I know he's really good. I'm just keen to see him in a brawl, eh?
Well, I mean, Brodie, you've never lost, have you, in anything?
No, I have. Yeah, I don't know where they got that. In MMA, I haven't lost. So yeah, like counting all the old junior like MMA league and like worlds where there was no headshots and that, I think my MMA record stands at like 24-0 or something. But yeah, I've lost like heaps of times in like boxing and shit. Like I've lost like 2/3 of my fights, or a third of my fights, I should say, in boxing. Like I've lost. And then I've like lost a few fights in Muay Thai as well back in the day. So
Nah,
and
they
heaps in
have.
jiu-jitsu.
No, mate, no one can chase it. No one can look it up. You're undefeated. You're like
That's it, Sugar
yeah.
Sean O'Malley. Undefeated, mate.
Undefeated the whole time. You've never lost a street fight. It's great. Like Hicks and Gracie or whatever, where he's like 400
Oh
on
yeah,
the street. That's you. Now,
that's it.
what's it like watching your brother Kyle fight?
Same thing as he said. Like you always know they can get it done. You're just praying that he doesn't do something stupid. Really, like you're sort of nervous. You're nervous to see like how good they're going to do and make sure, they perform to the best of their ability. But I don't know. I just never really get nervous as if he's going to get hurt or anything. I just want to make sure that he performs as good as he can, and that's it, really.
Are you guys like, because a lot of fighters and brothers that are fighters, some of them sort of bicker and competitive, some of them sort of more supportive. Would you say you guys are super competitive, sort of get stuck into each other, or are you more the supportive kind of, come on, man, you can get through this?
Yeah, a bit more supportive, but it can get pretty competitive some days, eh?
Do you keep a track on like who has beaten who more, Kyle?
I don't keep track. I'm pretty sure Brodie keeps track every time he. But I do, mate. Yeah.
Now, yeah. Well, what's the deal with the old, like? I mean, you got to be competitive at least with the mullet, surely. And Brodie, I think he's winning that in terms of flair. Is that, Kyle? Is that something that you are chasing in the mullet department, or are you happy with what you've got?
No, I'm pretty happy with what I got. I had a mullet a few years back when I just turned 18, and then I cut it off, and then Brodie took it on, so now I'm taking it on again just to outgrow him eventually.
Now, how old's your dad?
44.
So did he fight? I'll get Brodie to answer this one. Did your dad end up actually fighting?
He had a few fights like a bit over 10 years ago now. He always competed in jiu-jitsu and that. But he had one MMA fight and sort of was looking for more fights in that, but they just never really come. Because, I mean, being up where we are, there was never really any opportunity. So he had one fight, had a few more lined up that just never really come through with, like, pullouts and that. And then, didn't have enough money to go down south, chasing fights down there and anything. So, yeah.
And, Kyle, did your dad give you guys a choice in fighting? Or is he just like, nah, you guys are going to be world champions?
Yeah, nah. Mate, he gave us a choice. Like when we were younger, played a bit of rugby and that as well. And there was a time where we were doing both. Going to footy training and going straight to training at the gym afterwards. But then it sort of just got too much, so just stuck to the fighting and gave up the footy.
And Brodie, you talk about your mum. So she had like a business sort of thing. Was she stoked that you guys ended up in a career in MMA?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, from when that first fight, I think it was actually her that brought it up, that showed Dad. Because, yeah, she just had like a work convention thing down in Brisbane. And then she said to Dad, "I was like, oh, we're on the boys' fight on this." And then, yeah, ever since she's been pretty supportive and that, pretty happy. She gets nervous for the fights, but as you would,
Yeah. I was gonna say, Kyle, is she like front row, like loves it type thing, or is she kind of like hiding in the back, like don't tell me, like don't show me later?
Nah, she's pretty into it these days. Training herself now, doing a bit of jiu-jitsu, but she loves the fight. She always comes and watches, and yeah, gets pretty keen on it.
It's in Innisfail, yeah.
Yeah,
in
and
his
it's about
foul, yeah.
Is that what's like, Brodie? I guess start with you. What's it like growing up there? Like, how many people are there? Is it super country? Like, what's it like?
I think there's only like 8,000 people, but I don't know. I wouldn't say it's super country. Like no one here is a city slicker, I guess. Like there is no city. The town's like the size, of like probably a suburb in one of the cities, if that. Like it's tiny. And yeah, I don't know. It's just always like everyone here just fucks around and gets in trouble and shit, runs amok, and that's all it is really growing up here, eh? So yeah, that's it.
I feel like I don't even need to ask Brodie this, but I'll ask Kyle. Have you been in any like street fights?
I've been in one sort of bit of a fight, not really much, but there was just a bit of push and shove, and yeah, nothing too bad.
Brodie, I just feel like you have.
Nah, I've never been in one. Never been as half as many as Kyle.
Now, in terms of growing up is in Innisfail, is it one of those places where there's not a lot of options, or like start with you, Kyle, like what was the sort of, when you're growing up as a kid, is it like, oh man, I'm gonna be a plumber, or I'm gonna get a trade, or work on a farm, or I don't know, uh rob a brothel? I don't know what cowboys do, but like, is that like what was the sort of, what did you want to be when you were a kid? I mean, I know you are basically 12 now, but like, what did you want to be?
Nah, yeah, I was always pretty keen to fight. Growing up, I never really thought about what job I would get when I got older. I was never really worried about it. But as I've been fighting, I've sort of just taken that on. I want to do that full time. I'm doing a chippy apprenticeship at the moment with Dad, but I want to just get signed off and just start taking fighting seriously. See how far I can go.
Brodie, you've obviously made the jump to CKB. Was there any backup plan, being a chippy?
Not really. I started my apprenticeship as well. Like me and Kyle both got apprenticeships under Dad, but yeah, I don't know. The priority was always fighting, so any chance that come its way, everything else just took the back seat, I guess.
So,
So like just head first into anything fighting, and then whatever comes after that, I guess.
so how come Kyle stuck it out?
How come Kyle stuck wet out staying in Aussie? You won a scholarship, that's why.
So talk about the scholarship. Like, what was the whole process? I mean, and you bring it up. Like, I didn't get to end up watching Relentless, or whatever it was. I will go back and check that out. But Kyle, were you up in the running for that, or talk us through it all?
Yeah. Me and Brodie both went over for the tryouts. I was only there for 6 weeks. Everyone else was there for 8 weeks. But even though I didn't get it, it was still a good experience over there, doing all that training. And now I'm still welcome back there after that camp anyway. So it's still all good, still keen.
Is it like, I mean, his younger brother, he got it. And I'm not known for stirring shit up, but like, is it awkward at all? Does it make you go, wait, fuck you?
Nah, I just gotta smash him harder when I see him. I don't have to do it as much.
Brodie, do you think you got it like because of the skill, or like is there more? Maybe it's because you're wearing louder shirts, you got bigger hair. Did you think it's maybe more star quality, or is it skill?
I don't know. I think it was more age on anything, really, if I'm being honest. Like, I mean, everyone there was good. Everyone there trained hard. Like, there was nothing. Like, I think it was all too close in that department. Yeah, I think just being younger than everyone else just gave me like a bit of an edge. And plus, I think everyone liked me at the gym more than they did Kyle.
Well, I mean, Kyle, have you noticed that like Brodie's always had a little bit? I mean, just even in my small interactions with him, there's like a little bit of smart ass. Like,
Yeah.
has it always been there?
Yeah, always growing up, like, yeah, no, any chance he gets, he has something to say.
Is is that where the street fight came from? Did you have to stick up for him? Was that
Yeah, nah.
in terms of Kyle? You didn't end up with the scholarship. Is there an opportunity to have a second golder, or the fact that you're going to be a chippy as well? Is there something where you can head on over to New Zealand and kind of work and live there with your brother and train?
Yeah, well, Eugene did tell me I should move over there with Brodie. I'm trying to get him to get a house with another room for me at the moment. But yeah, just as I didn't get the scholarship, I couldn't jump over there straight away like Brodie, leave work and all that. But I think it's definitely on the table, like going over there and training full time for me.
And Brodie, which ones, Brodie? You're heavier, correct?
Yeah,
Why?
just bigger than him, eh? Just the big
But
little bro. But no, I don't know. I only walk around like a 5 kilos heavier than Kyle. I think I walk around like just under 80, and then Kyle walks around at like, what do you walk around at, Kyle?
no, like 73 or 74,
Just taller than him now, bigger than him. You got no chance.
bigger head.
6 kilos of hair. Um,
This.
and you guys are both young. I mean, I'll start with you, Kyle. Like, obviously, you want to get to the UFC and be a champion tomorrow. But in
Yeah.
terms of actually sort of like planning it out and coaches, and obviously your dad knows what he's doing as well, is there sort of like a 5-year plan or a 3-year plan, or is it all mapped out for you?
Not really at the moment. Like, obviously, I want to go to the UFC, but I know I have to have a few more professional fights first. So, at the moment, all I really want to do is just stay active and get my record up. And then once I start getting a really good record, then start really trying to work for the UFC.
Have you taken any tips of your brother on like getting on the mic, or are you just, because I like the way you are. Like I like both how you guys are, because it's like I'm not actually a big fan of shit talking. I'm a big fan of like being who you are.
Yeah,
But like, do you feel the need to like, oh fuck, I got to turn it up a little bit if I want to get
yeah,
into the UFC?
definitely. That first fight in New Zealand, I was ready to leave the cage. I forgot I even had to do a speech, and then them questions, and I was like, "Fuck, what?" Next fight, I'm going to be more prepared. Might write something out beforehand, so I got something to say.
Rehearse it.
What about you, Brodie? You just chucking on a fucking cowboy hat and yeeharing?
Yeah, and I'm the same thing. I don't really like shit talking to anyone, but at the same time, I am a bit of a cheeky cunt. Like, I don't know. I'll never bag anyone out, or like probably never even call anyone out. I don't reckon, but like just that, I'm just sort of not afraid to say what's on my mind. I guess sometimes, just yeah.
And Brodie, do you feel the pressure? I mean, I'll ask you this as well, Kyle, but like, Brodie, do you feel the pressure of like already at like 19, like you guys are 20, you guys are supposed to be like the next big thing. And the next big things before you were 2 years ago. And it was like Harry Webb and Cody Haddon. And now at like 25 and 24, they feel like old. And you guys are coming up. And it's like, do you feel the pressure of having to make big on the hype?
Nah, not really. I don't know. I think definitely not like media wise or any of that sort of stuff. Anyway, like I think if I just fight and just sort of do what I've already been doing, Like it'll either come or it won't. It'll just sort of do its own thing, run its own course, and yeah, that's it.
And Kyle, in the sense of, if you could make the UFC, but your brother doesn't, or your brother makes the UFC and you don't, which one are you picking?
Probably I'll make the UFC, and he doesn't.
Brodie, so?
I reckon I'd make the UFC and Kyle doesn't. Kyle might get drafted off to Bellator or PFL or something maybe, but probably make more money there.
Boys, first off, in terms of just tapping into the fight, Kyle, how did you? I mean, I'm sure it's competitive as well, because Brodie put his opponent away a little bit quicker than you did.
Yeah.
Did he give you shit?
Nah. I was happy for him. I wasn't worried about that anyway. I was glad to see him drop him, you know. But nah, I knew I had to get it done in the first round if I could, just so he didn't get too far ahead. But yeah, I wasn't.
Might I say, Kyle? I mean, love your work, Brodie, but Kyle, you seem to have been taking on much tougher opponents early on. Like, in terms of like who you fought, like even Brad Ramsey, like earlier, like that's a tough opponent type thing. Why are you getting offered guys like of that level? And then Brodie, is it your age? Is it just whoever was put in front of you? And you had a debutant. Not that Jack Lipper's a stud, but like just in comparison to kind of who Kyle had to fight so early on. I'll start with you, Kyle. Is there a reason kind of why you got kind of almost thrown into the deep end?
No, I don't know. Like, I was looking to go pro this year, and I wanted to fight. I was really keen to fight in New Zealand, so I could go and train beforehand at City, and then I put my name down for that show, and they offered me Brad Ramsey, and I just took it. Like, I didn't know he was that experienced when I first took it. I knew he was like a kickboxer and that, but then I seen he had 6 pro fights, heaps of fights. But I was confident with it, you know. Like, I watched his videos and I thought I could do it. And I asked a few of the lads from New Zealand what they thought, and they said it's a tough first professional fight. But they told me, you know, you get it done. So I just took it on, you know, went hard.
And Brodie, the guy that you got, obviously he's going to have a great career. He's from a great gym as well, but obviously debutant versus debutant. You know that's never happening again for you ever. Like you have fight like guys like with like 10 fights.
Yeah, no, it's pretty same thing. I thought I was going to be in the same situation that Kyle was, and you know, when they said having another debutant, I was like, oh sweet, like I'll sort of, because it's been like a year since I fought last. When I fought Dom Aston and that, and you know, this was the first time I ever really had like a good fight camp and a good, you know, few weeks leading up to the fight and that. And you know, it was good to just sort of have a foot in the door again and sort of have like a nice fight. And now I think I'll be ready to take on some of those, you know, not top tier guys, but you know, a guy like Brad Ramsey or something, you know, someone of that tier or that quality that's sort of very well versed, and you know, just take on some harder fights now. Just I think it was just good to sort of, you know, get the feet wet again and just jump back in there and sort of get used to it again. Because before this fight I always sort of struggled with like jitters and nerves and that, you know, never really been able to get a proper camping and that with work and, you know, just fucking being busy all the time. But since training full time, that it's been sweet.
And do you want to stay at lightweight?
Yeah, I'll stay at lightweight. Yeah, there's no way I'm featherweight. Too fat for that.
And Kyle, same. Are you gonna stay at feather?
I'll probably stay at feather for now, but I think eventually, as I progress, I want to go down to bantamweight. You know, I see some of the and massive, too big for me.
Wow, interesting. Is there anyone in the, I guess, feather or bantamweight that you really want to get in the cage with?
No, not really. I haven't really, been watching all the pros too much. Obviously, I want to, go for the titles and that. But for now, I just want to just fight whoever and work my way to the top.
And Brodie, is there anyone in the lightweight division that you really want to get in there with?
Not really. I don't really even know anyone up top from like the top guys. Like I just train and fight. I don't really watch anyone, I'll say. But nah, by the end of the year at CKB, or like, by the time the scholarship's up, I want to be, pretty high up there, like sort of, in the talks for like contender, or sort of like getting close to that spot. Said it'll be a fucking quick journey if that does happen. But yeah, I just want to try and climb up there as quick as I can, so whatever comes my way.
You want to be in line for the contender series by the end of the year?
Nah, like contender for like the Eternal Belt or Hex Belt or something. Like just
also,
someone in the talks. Someone that's that's sort of rising through the ranks. And
I had to put you on the spot, but can you name the Eternal Lightweight champion?
Quaylen Salkid, isn't it?
I sort of to see, like, I've always liked when guys, you boys strike me similar to this. Like, you're like, I just fight and like kill people, and like, who's the best? I don't even watch it. Like, I just like, there's like Damien Brown, who ran the Beatdown promotions. One of his fighters, Max Kelly, never watched any of his UFC fights. Like, I did something about it where I like the guys are just like, nah, it's for other people.
Yeah,
we just fight.
I watch like the top guys. Like if before I ever went to CKB, like I'd watch if Kieran Joblin fought, or like Jack Becker, Dave Martinez, all those top guys. And then same with the UFC. Like unless they're a contender, I don't normally fucking bother watching it sometimes.
Nah, I feel you. Man, I've fallen off from the UFC completely. It's literally like you guys. Like I've just become like a weird nerd of like regional MMA where I'm like, oh, the Mayocchi brothers. Everyone's like, have you heard of Conor McGregor? I'm like, no, these boys. Boys, before I do let you go, I mean, ask everyone this. It's a great chat, and obviously we will have plenty more. But I'll start with you, Kyle. After it's all said and done, how does Kyle Mayocchi want to be remembered in mixed martial arts?
Oh, I just want to be a champion. Like, yeah, I want people to look at me and think they want to be like me one day.
And Brodie?
Oh God, obviously make it to the UFC and become a champ, but there's always that debate of like who's better, Khabib or John Jones. I just want it to be like Brodie Mayocchi's the best ever, so that's sort of what I want to try and achieve, sort of be like another level above those sort of guys eventually one day, and yeah.
And in 10 years, I've never had to do this before, but because you guys are like literally children. So Brodie, in 10 years, I'm going to have you back on because you're going to be a superstar. What do you want to say to yourself in 10 years?
Better be in UFC fighting, I can't. That's about it, really.
And Kyle, anything to say to yourself?
Pretty much the same thing, better be in the UFC by then. Otherwise I'll be disappointed.
You guys are the absolute best. Thank you for both jumping on. This is a lot of fun. Kyle, keep being yourself, mate. Don't feel like you have to fucking talk shit. Just be you, mate. Like my best example is like, look at Jack Della. He says 5 words, and everything he says fucking matters. And Brodie, keep being super yeehaw. That's like the tough version of Brokeback Mountain. Like,
That's it, mate.
Anyway, boys, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.